is if you compress things into a format other than zip, then you need to make sure that who you're sharing it with or who you're sending it to can handle that other format. So if you're using the RAR format as an example, you can make sure that they have some tool that handles a RAR file format. Windows by default does not, but zip Windows does. So you could use WinRAR to encrypt your files, password protect them, share that zip file out with another individual, and until that individual has the password, they're not going to be able to either open up the zip repository if you protected it with a password at that level, or open up the individual file inside that repository if you applied the password. Sure that you can install WinRAR for free to begin with, and I believe it has something like a 30 or 60-day trial period. All features are enabled, so it works 100%, and you don't have to pay for it. I believe what happens is after that period, if you don't pay for it, then it has what's called a nag screen. So every time you try to use it, a window is going to pop up basically saying, hey, why don't you pay us? In essence, why don't you buy this? Really trying to get you to help. It comes with a free trial that I'm positive of. I'm 99% sure it's a 30-day free trial. I'm 100% positive that after that free trial, it will no longer work. It's not a case of a nag screen. It stops working until you give it an activation key. In other words, until you purchase it. Now, what this lets you do with Ditto, every time you copy something, it places it into a clipboard library. And the most recent one is the one that will automatically paste if you use paste with the mouse or you do a Control-V. However, you could go back through the history of the things you have copied and repaste them again and again and again as many times as you'd want to. And you could jump around from something that's maybe from earlier today to something that's all the way from yesterday to the one you just did now, back to the one you did 5 minutes ago, back to the one from... Next, WinDirStat. Sort of a clumsy... Don't just plug it in, turn it off before you plug it in. If you do that, it will charge twice the stats. That is one option. However, maybe you don't want to turn it off. Okay, and the reason for that is because you're expecting that you may actually get a call or something like that. Okay? If you're going to be, or perhaps a better scenario is, well, you still want to use it, but you want to just use it for local things. So as an example, what you can also do, and many people don't realize this, is you could put your device into airplane mode. If you put the device into airplane mode, it will charge significantly faster because you don't have the different radio antennas that are processing and accessing your device and therefore consuming electrical power. Now, how you put things into airplane mode may change from one device to another, obviously, but on most devices, it's a fairly simple thing. You click on the settings icon, the gear icon, and then the airplane mode logo. Okay, zoom in, and if you turn it on Android, as you see here, you go to settings, accessibility, visibility, magnification. If you turn that on, then what happens is when you triple tap on the screen, it will automatically zoom in, and if you triple tap again, it will automatically zoom back out, regardless of what application you are in. This is particularly helpful if you are a person who needs glasses and you don't happen to have your glasses on, you want to be able to read something or anything like that. It will quickly zoom you in on the screen and zoom you back out. So it's an auto magnification feature. So I'm sorry I'm going to have to speed up a little bit here. Todd's in here telling me that I've got to go, that I got to motivate a little bit. So we'll talk a little bit about offline Google Maps during the poll question, because I have most of this memorized. And there we go. Todd, I've gotten you to the poll question as you have requested. Please launch the poll question. So I'm going to presume Todd is launching the poll question. And with this poll question, everybody will be able to answer the question that's at hand, and Todd is running in. Todd, the poll question is not up on you. Todd did hand me a series of questions, so let's see what this says. Okay, how do you do multiple desktops again? Okay, so with Windows 11, you're able to have multiple desktops and multiple virtual machines. If you do not have Windows 11, if you have an older version of Windows, you would have to buy a third-party software product to allow you to do this. Exactly, but one of the icons that is there, if you click on it, it'll say desktops. You click on that, it opens up, and it lets you define new desktops, and as you do, it will open that desktop, and then you run whatever applications you want, and then those applications are part of that desktop, and you repeat the process then to either A, switch to another desktop, or create a computer. Wouldn't that eliminate the need for multiple screens? Depending on how you're using your multiple screens. Most people use multiple monitors or multiple screens or single large screens just to have more screen real estate, to have more room to look at things at the same time. They're useful, particularly if I'm working on Excel on one screen and I still want to be able to see my email on another screen at the same time. So really that's a screen real estate issue more than anything else, and the virtual computer or the desktops don't really solve that problem. Next question. If I upgrade to Windows 11 now, is it free upgrade? If free, does it have all the features in free version? Okay, so if you upgrade to Windows right now, I believe if you're coming from Windows 10, it's still being offered as a free upgrade. I cannot promise that 100% because I'm not certain, but I believe it is a free upgrade. And the answer is yes, there is no such thing as a limited version of Windows 11 where they do not give you all the features. It is 100% feature complete. Next, does ELC play Opus files? Oh, that's an excellent question. I don't have any Opus files, so I cannot say 100% for sure. My suggestion would be to go to the website I gave you for ELC and see if it lists Opus, or just download it, install it, and try it. Those are my suggestions. Next, does Snagit allow a Zoom meeting screenshot? Snagit will capture anything that's on the screen. That doesn't matter if it's Zoom or not, it makes no difference. Next, is there an app similar to Ditto that's available for Apple computers? Sorry, I really cannot say. I'm not an Apple person. I've never owned an Apple product. No Apple computer, no iPhone, no iPad.
Why not? Lead to go in front, leg is metal. A lot of people get mixed up with the past tense of lead, which is LED. They think of like lead pencil, they put out LED. Homophone. These are words that have the same sound, but are spelled differently. And this is where your theory comes into play, writing these words differently. Two and two, pray and pray, there and there, or your, there's many of them. These are words that sound alike, but you have to use the right one. We want to ensure everyone gets home safely. It's insure and insure. But again, people say a generic insure. So if you want to make sure, it's insure. The company will insure the vehicle, give you insurance. Grab the oars and let's get this dinghy going. The dinghy is a little boat. It's the GHY. The other one is dingy. You'll also see it spelled GEY. Those curtains look very dingy and need to be washed. Put the bills in the top drawer. Now, you know it's drawer with the ER, but people say draw. And if you're on autopilot, just write it down to you, you may write draw. But you should know to fix it. It's drawer. Because draw is draw, the intersection for it. He tried to, again, sound alike, elicit the story. Taboo material. Alright, so now we're talking about a male. Made all the arrangements fiance, Lori, it's a woman, wanted a larger ring. So it would be 2 E's, the French term. The detective pored over the records every day. Read over something, it's P-O-R-E-D. And the sugar was pouring out of the snack. O-U. She leaned against the door jamb, as opposed to the other type of jam. They were always in a jam, in trouble, or the jam you spread on bread. We retain counsel to appear with us before the city council. But when you retain attorneys, it's C-O-U-N-F-E-L, and the city council, P-I-L. He became the American consul in Greece, the diplomat. Her pearls complementary, it means the pearls go with her, A-C, so it would be P-L-E. The other one is her husband, always complimented her on her plate. Get nice things. Both profanities were on display, 2 ends. The principal rule to follow is to be kind. A very good friend of mine shared a way to remember this, if you think it's a little sexist. Name, man, money. Pay off some of the principal, a little bit of interest, here's your money. And he stuck to his principles. He told the truth, his beliefs. You want to remember rules, L-E-S for both words. So name, man, money, that in the dictionary, but no to catch it. This is very common, and you will hear this used incorrectly all the time. Your account of what happened does not jive or jive. Jive means to go together, mesh. So jive, B-E is the correct word. And I don't understand all your jive talk, your jazzy talk, BGs, jive talking. So that's J-I-V-E. But when you say something jives together, it's J-I-V-E.